All right, folks, burpee and push pattern exercises number 3. We're going to work with a light med ball to start with, and we're going to work on med ball pushes, more like a chest pass with the med ball to work on our push pattern. In order to do this, the stance should be pretty stable. So nice and wide with the feet, a little bit of a hip hinge, like hips back a little bit, knees are a little bit soft. Don't need to be in a deep squat, and I certainly don't want you doing this, like leaning back with the ball. There's a lot of different ways you could work this into a workout. You could use partners and pass back and forth with a light med ball. Working with a handbag here would be a little bit awkward just because catching it as it rotates with the handle and the different shape would just be kind of hard, and that may throw somebody off their positioning. So it'd probably be better to throw it at a wall, pick it up with a nice deadlift hip hinge form, and just practice it that way. So the key though is that you're pushing the ball, right? So you're holding it at your chest, you're in your hip hinge, and your elbows are out a little bit, shoulders are back, and then you're going to fully extend with your arms, pushing forward, trying to keep the ball at the height of the hands as it takes off. So push. The other way that you could practice this is sitting down. So if you sit on a box, kind of with your hips right at the edge of the box, and your lower body here is taken out of it. And so then all you're using is your upper body, trunk muscles, core stability, arm push pattern in order to make that happen. It's actually one of the strength and power tests that we use with our athletes, measure how far they can throw a ball of a certain weight. So a seated chest pass is a great exercise also because it doesn't allow you to use your legs. Everything else in the upper body has to work. So we work here like this, sitting up nice and tall to start with, and then you just press it, chest pass it as far as you can get it. Go for it. So that's our push pattern exercise, med ball chest pass. We are also going to work on the squat today with a dowel for a little bit of feedback. So what we're going to do is start with a dowel behind the body. It's going to touch me in my upper back and my tailbone. The head may or may not touch the stick, but you're going to hold the stick behind your back and also behind the head. We're trying to keep the spine as straight as possible so that if the head doesn't get back there easily, it doesn't need to be forced. We don't want the neck to be in an awkward position. So we're here like so, and we're just going to sit down on a tall box. The reason the box is going to be there is that with the stick feedback, keeping the spine straight, it might feel really awkward in the squat, so we want there to be a box there so it feels easy to bail out if you need to, as you're learning the balance. So we're here. Squat, and then the dowel just gives us feedback about how to keep straight. A lot of us are going to feel like this is natural and the stick isn't touching our bodies anymore. So it's just kind of a way to retrain that pattern. As it gets easier, you can always go to a lower box or step. So if somebody has pretty good mobility and they're able to keep the dowel on their back as they squat with a higher box, if they go into a lower box, it's going to let them come down into that deep squat. And you can see there, my back starts to flex as my hips get that low. So my squat's not such good quality as I come down low like that. Now, in an unloaded position, like we are in a burpee and like we are right now, that's okay. We're not so concerned about the butt wing grounding of the back when we're not loaded. When we have weight in our hands, we certainly don't want that to happen. But in a burpee, the squats that happen are gonna have a little bit of that, and that's okay. We just wanna make sure that we're not, that the hips, knees, and ankles are moving as much as they can in that loaded position to make sure that there's not too much extra stress on the lower back. So, med ball chest pass to work on your push pattern. Squat with a dowel feedback to a box for practicing that tall chest, full deep squat to get ready for those burpees.